Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. It is one of the crucial games of the competition, as with what we've just seen with Moana Pacifica getting the upset win over the Brumbies, it's confirmed two of our playoffs. Hurricanes will be hosting up against the Brumbies side in Wellington. The Chiefs, no matter what, they are guaranteed second place, and they will be going head-to-head up against the Reds, taking place in Waikato. And then now, this game. This is absolutely crucial. The Blues need 2 points at least from this contest. In fact, we'll just say it. They need a win. Because if they win this game, they host the Crusaders at Eden Park next week. If they don't, it is going to be taking place in Christchurch, location that the Crusaders, with the new stadium, have never lost at. So there's a lot on the line. The Blues are underdogs. The Chiefs have rested players, so there's all sorts of weird things that could happen out there throughout the 80 minutes. But we are excited for it as we get closer to the end of the Super Rugby Pacific comp. Looking through at the starting lineups, we all start with the Chiefs. It is Jared Prophet, Tyrone Thompson, and also George Dyer as the front row. No Samasoni Taukei'aho in the starting lineup for this match. Naito Akoi alongside Josh Lord. Has been a handy enough duo at times. We've seen a bit of Tupovai thrown in there as well, but Josh Lord, he's a player who over the last, I would say, 18 months or so has proven a lot of people wrong. Initially, when he got thrown into that All Black setup, some felt like he maybe wasn't quite ready, but he has shown that he is more than ready now with what he's been able to do throughout this season. Samapeni Finau as the number 6, Jerome Brown 7, and Wallace Satiti as the captain, slotting in at number 8. Now, it is one of the few times that we do see him captaining this Chiefs side. Normally, they do have quite a few other options, but Satiti has been rumoured as one of those future players that could potentially look at a captaincy role for the ABs. It's a big opportunity to try and lead his side to victory here. Cortez Ratama and Josh Jacob as that 9 and 10 combination. Still no Damian McKenzie in this contest. That was due to the heavy head knock that he did suffer a couple weeks ago. But the good news is he'll be back and raring to go for those playoff games. And now we know that it will be when the Chiefs go head-to-head with the Reds side. Kieran Tomei Falau out on the left wing. Rian Paul and Daniel Rona make up the midfield. No Quinto Paia at this stage. Daniel Sinkinson and Liam Coons-Fabling at number 15. In the starting lineup for the Blues, it is Mason Tupai, James Mullen, and Marcel Renata. In the front row, Josh Berry and Sam Derry make up the locking duo. Torian Barnes, Anton Segner, and Malachi Rampling. Well, that's a pretty informed loose forward trio as a whole. We've seen Barnes have some good moments. Segner's been solid. And also Malachi Rampling with some very heavy carries throughout his last few matches. Sam Knock as the starting 9 with Stephen Petafeta slotting in at 10. Caleb Clark out on the left wing alongside also AJ Lamb on the right. Peter Aki and also Taeli in the midfield with Sullivan slotting in at number 15. So, those are the starting lineups. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've been nodding my head too much. My headphones did almost fall off the head, but do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gents. And once again, you will notice we have got the QR code on the screen. The Next Play guys, they are still in the living room. They are doing a whole heap of hard work to try and get this website working smoothly. It is pretty much in its trial run period, so be sure to give feedback. But yeah, if you want to join, it is also the pinned comment. Yesterday, we did see Vic get himself a Super Rugby scarf. I have been informed that the stakes are getting higher in terms of the prizes. So pretty much the gist of it, which hopefully I will explain correctly, and I hope I'll be told. If I don't, the base prize is the scarf, $30, worth on the Super Rugby merch website. Then from there, every 10 people who join and answer 3 questions, it ups to another $10 on top. So for instance, we have 30 people taking part in it, and they all answer the 3 questions. That would then be a $60 equivalent of a prize that you are able to select yourself from any New Zealand Super Rugby side if you are the victor. Make sense? Hopefully it does, because I can't remember whether or not I explained it correctly. We have got their Blues win by 20. It says Rugby ready there. Hi, Amish and Chat must win for the Blues. Have a home field advantage in the playoffs? Absolutely. That Super Rugby playoff situation's just getting that little bit spicier because of what we saw from Moana Pacifica, which, by the way, why did they wait till the last week to be able to do that? But also, I just want to quickly say as well, Brumbies have lost 3 matches up against Pacific Island teams out of 3 this year. They lost to the Fijian Drua twice, and they lost to Moana Pacifica. Had they been able to win those games, we could have seen the Brumbies as high as 2nd place. But because of dropping those matches, they find themselves in 6th, and there is no chance of being a lucky loser for the Brumbies. There will be a higher ranked qualifier who does suffer a loss, which means the Brumbies, it is do or die for their game in Wellington Whereas for the Hurricanes, if they lose that game, they've got the lifeline. They will play no matter what. And the semi-finals, looking through at the form of these two sides, that I will be catching up with all of the chat that I have been missing for the Blues. They did have the win over Moana Pacifica. They have lost their last two New Zealand derbies up against the Crusaders and the Hurricanes. So not quite the ideal form heading into the playoffs, but at the same time, they're at least in that top six. I always look at it that way. There's still the opportunity that if they make it to next week, which they will, 3 matches is all you need to be crowned Super Rugby Pacific champions. For the Chiefs, they have got the win over the Reds, the Highlanders, and they narrowly were defeated by the Crusaders. That game in Christchurch taking place last week. I don't know whether or not the selection is going to heavily affect this result, but at the same time, we look at what happened for that Hurricane selection. That cost them dearly up against the Crusaders. So I think with the Chiefs having no McKenzie, no Tupai, no Vai, there's just a little bit of a chance that this won't be as smooth sailing for the Chiefs, which, of course, favours the Blues a little bit. I think heading into this contest, they would have well and truly, both teams expected Moana Pacifica to have lost that game to the Brumbies. But now there's that curveball, which means that there's that little bit more pressure on in the overall outcome. We have got the head to the box win the Sevens. They have won both their 2 games so far, but they haven't won the competition yet. We're only on day 2. That will be taking place later on tonight. But we'll keep you informed about the Sevens all throughout the day as well. We have got there, please put the question. I'll put it in the question stream. So it is the pinned comment, Mohadim, but I can also put it in the chat for you guys. For anyone who was here yesterday, you will know exactly what that is, and that is the link to be able to take part in the live predictions competition that was going on yesterday. We did see Vic Mars get himself the victory there. He isn't here today, so he may have got himself a scarf, and he might even be at the game for this contest. We have got there, good evening, says Sophia, welcome in. And score predictions, says Oscar. I think it's going to be high scoring, purely because of the changes that we've seen in both of these teams. There'll be a little bit of struggle in the reshuffle department. So we might see a few more gaps opening up, I would say, as a whole. We have got there, please focus on answering the questions better tonight, Hamish, so you can enjoy it as well as us. Says Jason, although I did work out last night, in the URC, I got very lucky. I came runner-up, and that may have been from some slight, I wouldn't say controversy. I just stopped answering questions near the end of it. But I am happy enough just watching that scoreboard go over. I'm going to answer the 3 questions so that there is a chance that you guys are going to get much more of a reward. But also, it doesn't matter when you join in on that quiz. Because of how much the points are worth later on in the comp or later on in the match, I could join in second half and still have a pretty good shot of getting myself some Super Rugby merch. We have got the Up the Blues. Says Rugby Hitch there. Good morning, Hamish. Says Albert. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. And Chiefs will win for you. I'm not so sure because the Chiefs come in as favourites, but I don't know whether or not that is favourites because of the team that's been selected or favourites because of the team that they wanted to be selected in terms of the bookmakers. So I think it's definitely much more even than some anticipate. The Blues need to come out here and absolutely fire. Now they've got the motivation. They know that they can't go as low as 5th. No matter what, they're 4th or 3rd. And 3rd would be the much better because at least you get the game at Eden Park rather than having to travel to Christchurch, which would be a very tough location to win up against the Crusader side. And I should mention, whoever's hosting that game probably will have a lucky losers situation going on if the 2 New Zealand sides beat the 2 Aussie sides in the top 2 matches. So there is so much significance, although actually if that happens, both these teams in terms of Crusaders and Blues go through anyway, and it would be the 4 New Zealand sides through to the semi-finals after such a good start for the Aussie teams. But I will mention we are 5 minutes away from the start of this one. We have got there, when's the next question? They will have the question starting just before kickoff, as when they will be firing up. And for anyone who wasn't there yesterday, you are able to do that as well as comment in the chat. And you are also able to still watch the live stream while going on that website as well. They've done some fancy stuff. Oh, we've got Vic back. Is Vic going for 2 in a row? Going for the 2-piece maybe? I have no idea how the thing works, but I picked Josh Jacob for no reason. Says Big Rig. Oh, has there been a question already? Maybe. We got 12. Oh, no, you've got Josh Jacob as your name. I get you now. So currently we got 12. So ladies and gents, we've got it there from Omar as well. Next play prize, merch store. Base price of $30 for every 3 people. For 10 people that answer 3 or more questions. We add $10 for a maximum prize of $100. There you go. You go get yourself some pretty nice merchandise. You've got to make sure you join in and get those 3 questions answered. I will also mention, I have to say this each time, I think, just for legal reasons. I am not in any way associated with Next Play. They are some guys out of Auckland University who are in my living room. They are doing this as a bit of a trial run to be able to see how they can improve their website in the future. Then it's going to annoy you all stream about the next question. Enjoy Hamish, says Jason. I'm used to being annoyed though, Jason. As you know, we have got the hello, Hamish, says Brandon. And welcome back. We will contact you tomorrow regarding your prize, says Whitenure. And there as well. But yeah, you're just going to make sure if you do win, you give them the email so that they can contact you. We saw Flesham win the URC one last night. The next stream that it is going to be on will be Lions versus Leinster. Chiefs at home, they're a monster, Satiti and co. Yeah, although Satiti and co normally includes Vai, Tolkiaho, McKenzie, Tupaia. They're all missing from this game in terms of the starting lineup. We will show the bench while we are at it, ladies and gentlemen. Or in fact, no, we won't. We will just read them off because I didn't put that one in. For the Chiefs, it is going to be Brodie McAllister, Bennett Kumiroa, and Kieran van Staden as the number 18. Fiti Sa and Kalen Boshier as the other two forward replacements, with Tetaroa Tahuti-Arangi, Tupaia Cook-Savage, and Lalakai Foketi as that number 23 for the Blues off of their bench in this contest. And the number 16 jersey, it is Eli Odenrain. Some people will recognise that name from the under-20s last year or the year prior. It might have actually been for Eli Odenrain, but Josh Fusitua and Flynn Yates as the number 18, Lachlan McWannell and Hoskins Satutu, alongside Finley Christie, also Corey Evans and Cody Vai. So to be honest, some of those fringe players that we haven't really seen the names of for quite some time, but no Patrick Tuipulotu. I haven't actually looked at that injury list as of yet, but it would not one bit surprise me if that man actually did pick up a bit of an injury from that game a couple weeks ago. I noticed how he was holding the shoulder. Didn't look 100%. So what I'm quickly going to do here is I'm actually going to have a quick little read through of the injury report of the Blues. What do they got? Yeah, neck injury for Patrick Tuipulotu. So no wonder he was looking a little bit worse for wear in that last game. But they kept him on the field for an extra 40 minutes more than they should have, which is the big concern. Kia ora, Hamish, says Chris A. Welcome in. I was the winner with 200,000 points, says Xander. And just another Saturday jam-packed with rugby. The braai will be burning like never before today. Says, how's it there too? But 3 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. Of course, if you haven't already, be sure to join in. Although you don't have to join straight away because of the fact that you can still join in later on and get yourself some pretty big points. They had it last night, or this morning, I should say. There were questions worth 20,000 by the end. So you can certainly make a lot of ground up. 13 degrees Celsius for this contest. 1 second, we'll go like this. Okay, we got that link pinned as well, which is ideal. But now, tonight, and then the qualifying final around the corner for these teams. I will mention 2 of the qualifying finals are already confirmed, no matter what. It will be Hurricanes in Wellington up against the Brumbies and Chiefs in Waikato up against the Reds. Now, the winner of this contest, there's a question coming through. As well as Satiti makes his way onto the field, it is the score prediction. It's a hard one, really, because this one could be very high scoring, or we could see a little bit of a low scoring, close one. Here we go. I've locked in my scoreline. And let's go. The Chiefs says Johnny plays, and the Blues will win, says Peanut. And also, we have got there about 200,000 points. You may need 200,000 points to win this one, to be quite honest. Fleshing got 160,000 or so. We got a couple oranges from Sophia as well. I do like a good orange. Is it bad that they just transitioned like they showed Finley Christie when I met? No, never mind. We have got there. Don't fluff your first question, everyone, says Jason. Yeah, that first question. Wait, I've just seen there the first question is worth 100,000 points. So if you get the score prediction bang on, you will all but win, depending on how many other points are available. And the overall, but we've got 14 in there so far in terms of the predictions. Be sure to use that pinned comment. Every extra 10 people in there who answer 3 questions, they up the prize by an extra $10. So you could end up looking at all sorts of merchandise, some shorts, maybe a shirt. Would you prefer a hot dog or a kiwi pie as a breakfast item? I'd say I'd probably prefer a hot dog because it's at least kind of like a sausage. So then that's like something you have with breakfast. So I'd probably go with that. But then a pie goes a long way too, and that's pastry, which can be counted as breakfast, right? Kind of. But now we're ready to go in this contest. The Blues, they will be kicking off this one from right to left. Kieran Tomoe-Falau, a man who at the start of the season just didn't look like he was going to get any sort of opportunity. But now he certainly is. He looks like an orange lover. That's a compliment, right? Vitamin C and whatnot. It's vitamin C, right? Vitamin D you get from the sun, I think. But now kicked off, Josh Lord taking it nicely for the Chiefs just outside of the 22. Question has come through as well in terms of who will be the first try scorer. Whether it's the Chiefs or the Blues, do let me know in the chat. Good morning all, says Hano. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Now Ratama just outside of the 22. Going up for the ball. Caleb Clark getting a knee to it in the end, not actually getting it in the hands. Josh Jacob looking to run this one forward for the Chiefs. Wallace Satiti now with ball in hand. Does he receive extra points for flirting with Yamish? I don't think so. I want to say Omar's in charge, or is Elliot? One of them's in charge of the points, and I don't think there's bonus points for flirtatious behaviour. Because if there was, then yeah, we'd have to start trying to get some bonus points. I don't think it would go well. My flirting is about 1 out of 10. Now ball's there for Sam Derry, managing to get a nice steal on the breakdown. Cortez Ratama jumping straight in there. I'll move it across here for the Blues. They are sitting about 25 metres out from the opposition line. Sam Knock moves it on to the right. Now ball out to Taeli. Tries to fend on Wallace Atiti. Got him round the kind of neck region. That's a big knock on from Sam Knock. And a penalty awarded to the Blues there. Josh Jacob, the best 10 after DMAC, says, hey, no, yeah, head into the Highlanders as well. Bacon and egg pie. Bacon and egg pie is good. Most things with bacon and egg aren't too bad, to be fair. Unless you don't like bacon or eggs. Then that probably does suck. I'll flirt with you for extra points, but I don't do the ball grabbing like you rugby lovers. Sorry, says Xander. No, so I know I could probably just Google this, but would you know if Dave Rennie is close to coming back to New Zealand after his commitments in Japan? I think he's been here at times throughout the last about month or so. But, yeah, I don't know whether or not, like, he'd be relatively full-time in terms of the All Blacks commitment once the Japanese top league ends. It's a short side here, massive run forward for the Blues, and they go in for try number 1. And that is nicely done there for the underdogs in this contest. The Blues, they strike early. And we have the Amish and go the Blues. Yes, set to miss, but it is Torian Barnes for his third. My flirting capabilities are what's flirting. I'm about the same, I think. Finally, we can finally get to see Caleb Clark and Fehi dual combo. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm curious about this whole blocking thing. Have you found out any information, Thuds Ray, in terms of are New Zealand Rugby paying him what he would have got for going overseas? Or are they just saying you can't go because we want you on a cheaper contract here? I'd like to think it's the first one, or else that's pretty brutal for the young man. Zahn Sullivan, throughout his 2026 goal kicking, he's only actually had 2 opportunities, but he has got both of them over. Make that now 3 from 3 as the kick goes through the uprights, and that is going to make the score 7-0 now in favour of the Blues. How am I winning, says Big Rick. And Barnes are already better than Fee now, says Peanut Slab. But it's a great start. I'm somehow in second. Oh, no, I'm in first equal alongside Hano and Josh Jacob. I hope that one's gone through the hands of Peter Aki. When 5 more people join, the prize will go up to $50, says White Newell. So, yeah, be sure to chuck in that pin comment or the QR code. But Sam Knock kicking this one up. And that one's found touch. So we need to see the Chiefs fire back with a little bit of momentum of their own. Oh, I'm sitting top of the leaderboard. How'd that happen? I must have got something else right. It might have been the kickoff, actually. It's over like Ambone. Says Darren, no worries at all. I think kickoff deep is better than a shallow kick for a 50-50 chance. Well, I think straight away, if you kick off deep, you put them under pressure to then find touch, and then you get the ball back in the line out. There aren't too many sides that will run it out from inside of their own 22 and won't go for a kick further down the field. Well, I'm getting points flat out at the moment. I'm up to 14,000. Now, Cortez Ratama. And across to the right-hand side to Wallace Satiti. Sitting about 5 minutes in. Another run this time from Jerome Brown. Plenty of great options in that loose forward trio. Now moving it on. Offload from Tyrone Thompson out to Daniel Rona. Thompson plays half. Across to Jacob. Inside pass back to Thompson. It was a flat one. In fact, it was a little bit too far in the flat direction as it was forward. Now, scrum feed for the Blues. Just out from their own 22. Do you know who was in the finals now? And what's your thoughts on Moana winning today? I'm glad that they got the victory to end on a high note. But at the same time, it's slightly annoying that they waited till this game up against the Brumbies before they did get the victory. They've had a lot of close games along the way. But yeah, interesting now that we get to see Hurricanes, Brumbies, Chiefs versus Reds. And then now this game, if the Blues can win it, they are at home at Eden Park. I'm just thinking, if you're the Chiefs, would you prefer the Blues to win this game? I don't know. I think you almost would. Because the chance of them playing, it depends on the lucky loser situation as well. That's a big scrum and the penalty goes the way of the Blues. Damn, look at that Blues trio. This is sensational young talent. That's going to be the future Blues trio right there, says Tanner too. And I just hope that they stick with it. Because, you know, there's the rumours of who's going to be signing to the Blues, whether it's Artie Savia or whether it's going to be one of those Moana Pacifica boys. But, like, if they sign too many loose forwards, we're not going to get to see this young trio flourish the way that they probably can. Because, to be honest, they have got a really nice mix of size and speed between them. Segner's great with his turnovers. It's the type of loose forward trio that if it continues to develop, it could take them all the way to a title. But it's just whether or not they do get that chance. Now, line out here, nicely taken by Segner at the front of the line out. Sam Knock going back across to the left-hand side. Tordigan Barnes was almost right through. As Moana Nu coming back to New Zealand. I'm not actually sure what his plans are after the Tars. Or offload from Taheli, look close to forward as well. Clark bumps off the challenge of Josh Jacob. Oh no, it was Liam Coombs Fabling. Curious as to what it would have been that stopped Isaac Hutchinson from getting selected in this game. Maybe injury. I'll just have a quick look. Yeah, concussion actually. So yeah, they probably shouldn't select him if he's got a sore head. Going away to the right-hand side. Sam Knock moves the ball on almost through the gap with Stephen Petafeta. Couldn't quite get his offload away. Peteraki joining the breakdown to keep it on the side of the Blues. But again, they are in a very dangerous position on the field. Ball is out the back for Mason Tupaia. Slowly getting closer. Yes, Titi and Segner. Two young Bulls, let's go. Now still going that little bit further towards the try line. And we have got there, hopefully I can get one question right tonight. Run from Caleb Clarkey straight through. Oh, he's knocked it on. He tried to score it. The referee's going to check it, but no. There is the knock on from Clark. He did all the hard work. He broke through the defenders enough to be able to stretch out, but he was just a little bit caught in two minds there, Clark, as to whether he should extend out and score the try or recycle back. And in the end, he did a little bit of neither. We have there good news with Fihi Whittington not going anymore. Well, it's good news for New Zealand rugby, but is it good news for Fihi Whittington? Because I want to know whether or not, because of him staying, does he get paid what he was going to Newcastle? Because I think if he gets paid anything less, then that's pretty poor from New Zealand rugby. For pretty much saying, no, we're not going to allow you to get a whole heap of money overseas because we might play as a bench warmer every once in a while. But obviously, Rennie's the guy who has really put the hammer down. And Chiefs to do yesterday's game, I reckon. And good news is good news, says Andy. And come on, Josh Jacob, get a try. Says Tyrone. Currently 9 minutes in. Cortez Ratama is going to have the scrum feed here 5 metres out from their own line. And great effort from Moana here, managing to get the victory over the Brumbies, which is something that I don't think anyone would have been expecting, to be honest. And Classic Clark finishing, man, he can break the line, but he turns into a prop and open space sometimes. Gardner just asking for a little bit of patience here. Chiefs resting a few guys, says Aino. True. So are the Blues. So, yeah, it's going to be intriguing to kind of see whether or not this younger Blues side slow down a little bit. Oh, it's going to be the scrum. And another penalty. That one's going the way of the Chiefs. So we'll go like that. Go like that as well. I'm still somehow in first place, ladies and gents. Oh, I forgot to answer the question. Oh, no, never mind. It was invalid. Now running this one forward. Chance here for Stephen Petafeta. Finally off zero, says Jason. I think they did that one just to make us feel better, didn't they? Give us the one of, will the defending team not end up conceding for 20 seconds? We have got there, FMG Jacob says it was there from Nutter Boy. Now running down the wing, AJ Lamb. Knock across to Petafeta. He's going to go for the little chip in behind. That's a good take. Although they will go back for the penalty yet again. I'm second somehow, says a big rig. Well, you did go with a name like Josh Jacobs, so surely that, puts you in a decent position to be able to, do all right. We saw in a Safwa Moore last night. He answered a couple questions. They're going to the corner, though, here. For this Blues side, I thought it was asking who would score first. 1 second, we'll go like that. The Blues going for the corner here. Otherwise, I would have put Big Rig. Oh, I get you now. So, yeah, you thought Josh Jacob was going to be the one who ran it in. First try for the Blues. So, Torty and Barnes, that one's gone over the back, and it's a mistake from the Blues. It's Kieran Tumai-Falau. It's that one downfield as far as he can. Good bouncing ball towards the touchline too. Goes out inside of the Blues half. That is about the best possible outcome there for the Chiefs from kicking downfield. We have their Chiefs in trouble, says Peanut Save. Although we're early on, we're only 12 minutes into the game. A lot can change. Why aren't you on Europe or South Africa, cuz? Why aren't I on Europe? Why aren't I on Europe? As in, why don't I live there? Or just in general? Yeah, line out throw here for Mullen. Gets it straight into Segno, who's taken multiple line outs in this one. In Europe. Just because it's far away, I guess. It's not too bad here in New Zealand. Now, Caleb Clark. Two-man tackle on him by Jerome Brown and Jared Prophet. Hamish, can you tell me why? That was Moana Pacifica's last game. Was it because they have no funding? Well, not necessarily. Because the thing is, they got offered a price that would have bought them out, and they would have been able to then stay in the competition under new owners, but they declined. They said, nah, we're not doing it. So, that was close for Summer Penny Fiend now. It is going to be ruled as the knock-on. Can you get them to ask my date of birth for 100,000 points? I don't think they'd do that one. And they have Rugby Guru for that, says Zoe there. And also we have got the hour the Chiefs losing, says username. Well, they have gone a little bit experimental in their lineup, and the Blues have looked solid with ball in hand in the early stages. It's beautiful in New Zealand. My reasoning was for a tour of your product, says Heptagonal. And also just tuned in, says Eugene. Vern Cotter, he doesn't look happy. Even though his side is leading, you would think his side were down by 50 points at the moment, and that it was pure misery out there on the field. It looks like you're blushing again, says Over. Yeah, it's the lighting's fixed a little bit. I put that further back, and I think that has helped, because now it's outside of an arm's reach. It's probably I almost touched it, but I don't know if it's hot or not. Now, scrum feed here for Sam Knock. Going to be putting this ball in. What experience does the Chiefs coach have? What's his name? I always forget his name, as you guys know. That one's going to be the penalty there. Front row collapsing from the Chiefs. Are Chiefs playing their second string team? Yes, but so are the Blues to a certain extent. The Blues, they have got rid of Bowden Barrett, Dalton Papali'i, although Papali'i's injured, I believe. They haven't got a few of their regular starters in terms of the front row and whatnot. And we have got their great flanker, says Zach Gray. Vern never looks happy, says Dunk. Yeah, he could win the title and still look like that. We have 18 people in the quiz, but only 12 people playing. Prizes up for grabs, potentially worth up to $100, says White and Yaw. So yeah, if you are playing in the next play one, you have to answer 3 questions to register that you are helping boost the prize fund up. But it's every 10 people who have answered 3 questions, the prize goes up an extra $10. Up to the 100, I was told. But now going off to the left-hand side, Daniel Rona passes on now to Kieran Tomai-Falau. Trying to get the turnover in the breakdown was AJ Lamb. Peter Arkey, he's locked over the ball and manages the clean steal for the Blues. Lock goes back across to the left-hand side. Zahn Sullivan looking for a 50-22. Now that is something in Super Rugby Pacific that you can do, and that is take the ball back into your own half. Morning, Amish, says Fleshin. I do have to message your Fleshin on either Discord or WhatsApp later because they do need your contact details to send you your prize. But I'll get those after the game. Jerome Brown now. Torian Barnes. We've got the channel member, Tyler, for the 2 months. It is greatly appreciated. Morning, Kiwi Sir. Any other games today? We have got the 3 matches of the URC playoffs for the quarters that are going to be taking place. And 2 more people joining, and the prize goes up to $50. Says White and Yaw, so it is getting higher and higher, ladies and gents. Be sure to use that pin comment as well as the QR code that pops up on the screen every once in a while. You can also still watch the stream while playing. I don't know how they do it. They're all very smart individuals, much smarter than myself. Now Sam Knock goes across to Josh Berry. Low tackle from Satiti, gets him round the leg. Tapia back across to the left-hand side again for the try scorer Barnes. He is the lone try scorer at this stage of the contest. Marcel Renata does the spin, the big man, and then he drops the ball. He did all the hard work just to let it fumble at the end. Your predictions for the URC semi-finals? I would say, for me, it's the favourites all winning. I don't see an upset along the cards. The only upset that I believe could actually, well, the 2 upsets that I think could happen, this is nothing against the Lions, by the way, but losing Henko Funfake as well as Clubber Kanye, I feel like will just hurt them a bit too much up against an angry Leinster. But Munster have beaten the Bulls before in South Africa. Cardiff beat the Bulls not too long ago, but I think Bulls-Munster is my game that could be a little bit 50-50. And now I should issue an apology to Haino, because I know that's his team, but I say it out of respect for what Munster are able to do. But, yeah. Cool, says Fleshin. Yeah, because how many points did you have in the end, Fleshin? About 160,000, right? You can also, you're not limited to just taking part in one, so if you want to take part in this one too, absolutely go for it. I think Vic is in the equation. Now Josh Jacob kicks that one downfield into touch. The Bulls Munster, it could be an upset, says David there. And Jason Rutledge was a great hooker, and at time wanted him in the ABs. Got a good kick towards the sideline there. 18 minutes through the contest. James Mullen with another line-out throw. Josh Berry does lift up Segner, although that time it is stolen by Summerpenny Fee. Now Jacob going away to the left-hand side. He's got 4 men with him for the Chiefs, but Rona decides he wants to cut back in with Peter Arkey making the tackle. Now off to the left-hand side again. Ratama goes across to Jacob. Good hands from Tyrone Thompson. Bumps off his opposite number in Mullen. No Tokiaho for this match. There's actually a few young guys getting the chance off the bench. Eli Odenran going to get the chance for the Blues. Like I mentioned, a guy who was in that under-20s final just last year in the championship. And nice to see you watch some rugby. What's the scores? There's Craig. At the moment, it is 7-0 in favour of the Blues after 18 minutes. Now, Knock, forgot his name for a second there, down to the halfway line. Josh Jacob going now to run it back forward. Liam Coombs fabling. Which games will have the quiz on? The next one that's got the quiz will be Leinster versus Lions. And where are you watching from? Watching it on Sky Sport 1. At the moment, Ratama cross to Naitoa Akoi. That's a nice low skidding kick there from Jacob. That one rolls out. And that is a very good kick from Jacob. And Jacob says Peanut there. He's on fire so far in the Valladolid Sevens. Yeah, there's a few sides going well. Quite thirsty this evening. I think it's from all the talking taking place last night. We had the nice early morning start. We have got a nice early morning start tomorrow as well. And we have got there, both played late in the 30s. Rutledge last NPC game was 44 years. Both would outskill some of the greatest names in New Zealand rugby history, says that Cray. That one being put into touch. As a Munster man, I'm afraid we've way too many injuries to the top players like Byrne, Crowley, Klein, Dogbo, Farrell, and Nash, Luckman, and Jaeger. That's a lot, isn't it? Like that's a big list. Well and truly. I left Crowley as my thumbnail though because I made it last week. Can I still leave him as that, or do I? I'll just leave him as that. But he's not actually playing. Nice take from the back. Satiti. Oh, yeah, they don't lie. Hamish, you surely got the dry horse, says if tag it on. Not that I know of, anyway. We've got 2 more players to join for the prize to go up to 50 for the for the next play. But it's on the side of the Blues now. Oh, that's a big clean out on the breakdown from Jared Prophet. Stephen Petafeta. He does kick that one into touch. We're just going to see it there, thinking about playing that ball on the ground, and in the end, the hand was just about on it, which forced Ratama to knock that ball on, I thought, but I've actually ruled it as not off of the hand. Now, Tyrone Thompson. Okay, looks like the referee just having a stern conversation here with the line out. A little bit of stop-start. I'm still leading somehow. I haven't answered a question in a little while. Saxonville Jordan is out. It does. It would be much better for the Crusaders if Will Jordan was there, but then also at the same time, that would be quite a accomplishment if they were to win it without Will Jordan. Because it's always been talked about throughout the season. I've said it as well, and that is Will Jordan in the Crusaders team makes all the difference. But if they can do it without him, like Johnny McNichol's in some of the best form we've seen him have for the Crusaders. Little kick him behind, attempt from San Sullivan. Kieran Tomoi Falau hasn't quite taken that one cleanly, and it does go into touch of the Blues. Are going to have themselves the line out. Who's your team? I, believe it or not, don't really have one. I'm more of a kind of sitting on the fence type of individual. Now line out here for the Blues yet again. It is James Mullen. I was about to call him Che, but that is the Irish winger, isn't it? Now back across Stephen Petafeta, Peteraki. Now up to the halfway line. And the spinning run from Gideon Rappling, Malachi Rappling. Now I'm just listing rugby players with the same last names. Knock back across to the right. AJ Lamb tries to step, but Tyrone Thompson gets him early. Hamish cheers for the referee. I would love to see Glasgow take the URC, but would love to see the Scots get competitive like Ireland. Says Zach Cray. Let's get to 20 users on the quiz, everybody. We're at 18. Says White Nor. So, yeah, 2 more joining. We'll put the prize up to, they said, $50. Now it is at 40 currently. You know, things are exciting when Hamish sounds like an auctioneer, says it Daggett goes. It does happen a little bit, doesn't it? This one now, they're inside of the 22 with a brilliant attacking opportunity here for the Blues. There is another penalty advantage in their favour. Sam Knock going away to the left. Stephen Petafeta looking for the cross kick, and that one's gone nowhere near the field of play. And we have get there. I'm still second somehow, says Big Rig. Oh, yeah, you're Josh Jacob, aren't you? And Shargil has moved up into third. Looking very chipper this evening, Hamish says Sophia. There's plenty to be happy about. You know, there's some great rugby going on. Some nice enough weather that I can think of. It actually cleared up quite nicely from the fog that we had this morning. Hamish enjoys a good splinter. Okay, Angus Gardner just having a bit of a conversation here with Wallace Satiti, and it looks like the Blues are actually going to be opting to go for the 3 points. Here we have got their Segner dominate. He's looked solid, hasn't he? Anton Segner, whereabouts are you from? So I am pretty much situated almost halfway between Otago and Canterbury normally. Like, it's counted as South Canterbury, but if you drive like 5 minutes, you're in North Otago. So, like, the two South Island sides, I should have a favourite, but I just don't really. I just like all the New Zealand sides because there's too many good players spread out between all the sides. That one's going to go over for the 3-pointer, so that will be the first points that we have seen since that early try from the Blues, and they lead 10 points to 0. I don't think anyone was anticipating this type of scoreline in terms of the fact that they came in as big underdogs, this Blues team. Please put me on TV so my uncle buys a jersey. There you go. So she might get the jersey. Hamish likes the Hurricanes, says George. This is a lie. George has inside knowledge of the fact that I own Hurricane shorts, but I do also have Chiefs. I have Chiefs shirt. I have a Hurricane shirt. I have a Crusaders scarf, I believe. So I think that it's a little bit of everything in that regard. Where's your favourite place in the South Island? Anywhere that has e-scooters. That's something that we don't have normally. So, like, anywhere with an e-scooter, I'm happy as can be. And Tino Dam says, Navy is certainly not the way that people saw this one going. The Highlanders thong. Do they even sell those? At least you're not from the North Island. Never mind the rest of. Noah's favourite colour is yellow, and he has a sweet spot for the Hurricanes. But I've never been to a Hurricanes game. I've been to 2 Crusaders matches, so surely that's something. 1 Crusaders versus Chiefs game, 1 Crusaders versus Highlanders match. The e-scooters are death traps, bro. Only if you ride them like on the road. Big run there, out wide, nice pass from Rian Paul to Kieran Tomofalau, who goes in the corner. And that is a breakaway try for the Chiefs, which was much needed at this stage of the contest. It just seemed like there was a bit of control happening for this Blues side, but the Chiefs go out. They get themselves a very nice try there. It's a backline initially. The break of the line from Rian Paul. How do you die on an e-scooter? I guess because people ride them on the road and get hit by cars, don't they? Like, that's probably the biggest thing. Like, the way that I look at it is just don't ride them where cars are. Like, if you get hit by I was going to say if you get hit by an e-scooter, but like if you get hit by a car and you're riding an e-scooter on a sidewalk or a footpath, you're unlucky, you know. But I don't think that's because of the e-scooter. That's because there's a car on the footpath. How did this get so morbid so quickly? But Josh Jacob lining up the kick now, 27 minutes into the game. And he's just missed that one away to the left-hand side. If the Chiefs lose, will it affect their playoff advantage? Not at all. No, they are locked into second, and no matter what, they are playing the Reds. No, not actual death traps. Lots of blokes eat concrete on them. Out in city centre, the cars aren't quick enough, says George. I know someone who had a scar on their knee from an e-scooter, but I think there was alcohol involved. So that probably level is that the e-scooter's fault. That's just you and me, says George. And we have got there, you live where New Zealand crop. I have twice, says Craig, in terms of falling off an e-scooter. Falling on your head can mess you up. Yeah, that's the case no matter what, isn't it? Now, running forward, not able to take it cleanly there for Daniel Sinkinson, although the ball's been knocked back, still on the side of the Blues. Now, Taeli. Passing on the outside, we got there. Josh Jacob is in the lead with 13,100 points, so that is big rig. But one more joining would put it up to the $50 prize pool, ladies and gents. And I should mention, if you haven't even played in the first half, second half you will be able to earn enough points to still win. So there's still a chance you can get yourself $50 worth of Super Rugby merch from your selected team. You play the ball on the ground, says Nutter Boy. Frustrating game. It hasn't found its full flow, has it? It's been pretty stop-start. Hembo, you were hammered last night. Was I? Not that I know of anyway. And if I was, I might have had my waters spiked. We have there potholes and darkness and dangerous for e-scooters, says Fleshin. Yeah, although I learned recently, e-scooters, some of them have indicators that you click on, and then I don't know where the indicator actually is. I'd assume it's on either the front or the back of the scooter. I never actually was off a scooter for long enough to work out where it was, but it makes like the clicking noise. It's quite fun. Chiefs going off to the right-hand side. George Dyer. I don't know why I said that so weird. Yep. Pick and go from Naitai Koi. Ratama. Going now to Rona. So will the Crusaders be playing away next week? Depends. If the Blues win this game, the Crusaders will be playing in Eden Park. If the Crusaders... if the Blues lose this game, no matter what the bonus point situation is, because theoretically they can't lose this game and get 2 bonus points unless they were to score 3 or more tries than their opposition and be within 7. So if the Blues lose, it's in Christchurch. If the Blues win, it's at Eden Park in Auckland. Oh, nice steal there from Sam Knock, but there was the penalty advantage. And we have got there 50 New Zealand dollars. I don't know what that equivalent is of US dollar, but it's because all the Super Rugby merchandise on the website is in New Zealand dollars, so it's just the way that it works out. Good crowd here, says Jasmine. It sounds loud. A few cowbells ringing around. There are a few of those at the Crusaders versus Chiefs game. Ratama and Preston behind Roygard and Hotham at the moment. And to clarify, it will be 50 New Zealand dollars. And in terms of 1 to 10, being Roygard, Ratama and Hotham both at 7.5. We have got the arm coming up the rear leaderboard. And 25 US dollars roughly, says Omar. So yeah, that can get you probably a Super Rugby scarf and something. Probably a supporter shirt rather than a full-on kit. Full-on kits here in New Zealand about 160 or so. Now line out here for Tyrone Thompson. Thrown in, nicely taken by Naitoa Koi. This one not really going forward at the moment. Although now makes a couple meters. And 50 New Zealand dollars, 30 US dollars. Says Bifta there. Now still moving. This one looked like it was about to stop, but they have continued to find a way of keeping it creeping towards the try line here. The Chiefs, this is going to be hard to defend as they roll over and they score the try. Tyrone Thompson gets another one for the Chiefs. And just like that, they've gone from 10-0 down about 10 minutes ago to now 10-all just before the halftime break. And while I'm reading these comments out, by the way, Hamish, thank you. Says heptagonal. And how many taxi runners have you done this year? I don't think I'd even be able to do a taxi run or a dine and dash or any of those ones. I feel like I wouldn't be able to sleep for like weeks afterwards, and then like I'd eventually end up going back and then probably end up getting arrested. But nah, like at the end of the day, you get in a taxi, you pay for it, don't you? Give me the prize already, says Splash TV. What's your name on the thingy, Splash? I think it's Splashy, right? You're currently sitting on 5,000 points. You're close enough, to be fair. Would there be enough to purchase a signed photo of Kiwi Rob at the Blues losing party? Probably not. That would be priceless. We have got there. Our value is awful at the moment. Money in New Zealand trap by bad exchange rate, says Zach Gray. That kick has gone over too. So the Chiefs now, for the first time in this contest, they will take the lead. Second, we'll go like this. And like that. So currently, the Chiefs are back as the favourites, ladies and gents. There we go. Like that. But now, Ratama. He's got this ball 10 metres out from the line. Don't lie to me, Hamish. You're super pumped up for the Black Cats versus England series. I am in a certain way, but I also am not looking forward to the time zone that it's going to be in, because that's going to be some brutal hours. I think they start at 10 p.m, but then saying that, I was up till like 8 a.m. this morning, so I guess that's kind of normal. Now Mason Tupaia, the Blues looking to counter back the try of their own. Knock moves it on. Little short pass up to Derry, who breaks the line offload, and then another drop ball from the Blues. That's now the third time that I can think of anyway, that they've been inside of the 22. But, yeah, they just haven't been able to quite get the momentum flowing on that attack. Perafeta was looking up, and he just fumbled it. Has the Dean gone to sleep? It's still on 0, says Jason. Well, I'll be honest, I'm on 11,000. I'm pretty happy with where I'm sitting. I haven't answered a few questions in the last little while, but that's because I know that there's some big questions later on. And I think that that's probably my better option. Why does Super Rugby on YouTube channel block access people in England to watch their matches? I think it's because there's supposed to be a broadcaster in England. It might be on BBC, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. I missed the last question again. And if the Blues are lose, oh no, there it is. It's just come through now. This is going to be who will have the lead at 38 minutes. Okay. Well, it can't be a tie. I'm going that. I'm going risky. Blues with the line out now. Oh, no, they've just lost the line out. I locked in my option. I went for the Blues to be leading just a little bit by the 38th minute, but that was a bad decision. Now it's going to be available here for Cortez Ratama. Back across Jacob, moves it on nicely. Good hands here from the Chiefs back. Sinkinson cutting inwards. Man used to be at the Canes, but now he's found himself in a Chiefs kit, not getting massive minutes the last little while. Who's winning Super Rugby this year? If the Hurricanes, we have to take that game that they had yesterday with a grain of salt because of the fact that they went very different. But if they play like they have been throughout the last month or so, with the exception of that last game, they probably will win the whole thing. But the Wellington win could also be a bit of a factor in a final that could cause some issues. Jacob White cut out pass. Sinkinson will run it into the corner. The big finish too. And just like that, the Chiefs have been able to score the last 3 tries of this contest. They have just completely changed it around from the 25th minute. I don't think many people would have been anticipating that after the 10-0 start. But, yeah, I didn't pick that. I said Blues. Yeah, Blues by 5 I went. So I got that wrong. Well and truly. As always. Where am I? I'm still on the 11th. I haven't got one right in a long time, ladies and gents. We've got Josh Jacob at the top of the bunch. He knows what's happening out there on the field, seeing as he's also playing. And Bugger says Jason. And there as well. I said Chiefs by 2. Says Big Rig. Blues backline is cheek set. Well, the biggest problem for the Blues at the moment is they've had the opportunities. Josh Jacob, great conversion from the sideline, adding the additional 2, making the score now 19 points to 10. But they've had their chances. They just haven't been able to hang on to the ball in the moments where it's mattered most. That's all right, Vern. I'll have an all-time halftime spray, says Vic Mars. And also, we over there, the Chiefs doing Chiefs things, says Septagonal Ghosts. And Chiefs seem to have a bit of a habit of this slow start, but great second 20 minutes. And now another penalty. This is going to be awarded to the Blues this time, though. That is for a little bit of obstruction. So that is against Josh Lord. Ended up getting in the way. Now Stephen Perafeta. He will kick this ball over the sideline once again. 10 metres out from the line. This game throughout the last about 10 minutes or so has really picked up its tempo. You're glowing with excitement, says Sophia. Yeah, it's an interesting old half, I will say. An unpredictable one. But a good one nonetheless. Now rolling ball here for the Blues. Uh-oh, players getting stood all over there. Looks like he's going to be all right. Mason Tupai gets straight back up to his feet. The prize has now gone up to $50. Who's the next people to join? For the prize go up to $60. And there says White Nyor. So yeah, that is with the pin comment as well as that QR code. You can join in on the live predictions. You can also stay in the stream while it's happening. It's all fancy and it does let you do both. Now going away to the right-hand side, a new advantage now for the Blues. Now across Sam Knock, Peteraki, short ball. It looked like Caleb Clark. He was playing as a centre rather than out on the wing. Beautiful quick hands, and AJ Lamb scores another one. I got partial points. Some things are worth less points than others. So if you were kind of close to something, you would have got the points for that. And depending on how close you were, you get a certain amount of points, I believe. And come on home, Chiefs. Stamp that authority all over the pitch. CSF taking all ghost. I still got points despite getting it wrong. You're too honest, Big Rig. Most people would have just gone, hey, I got another one right. Hamish, what would you do if 4-0 happens? I'd probably still commentate it because that's what we do on the channel. We have it there, Blues going down swinging. Says Salah. Oh, hang on. Hang on. This one may not be confirmed. Oh, no, is that the shot clock was off? I think that was due to an injury. They've now restarted the shot clock. 20 seconds remain of this first half, so I think he'll be able to use up the rest of the time. In fact, that is the halftime siren that has now just been hooted at FMG Stadium. Is hooted the right word for a siren? You honk a horn, you ring a bell, you hoot a siren. Is that would that be right? But now that one's going to be missing away to the side. I'll ask the fellas who are in the lounge. I'll get Sargil to message me. What do you do to a siren? Do you hoot it? Is that the right word? You guys are from university. You should have better knowledge than me. A halftime in this contest, 19 points to 15 after the Blues score right at the end. Because you don't blow a siren because there's nowhere to blow. Hooted is wisely owlish. Sirens ring. Ring the siren. Because you ring a bell, don't you? Oh, we have there ring, says Splash TV. Hooter. And kia ora, Hamish, if the Chiefs win or lose, who do they play next week? So no matter what, win or lose, the Chiefs are taking on the Reds. The Blues, they are going to be head-to-head with the Crusaders. You sound a siren. Oh, sound the siren. Sound the alarms. That's like a song, isn't it? I don't know who sings it. We have it there. Crank the siren, bruv. Crank it up like Pearl. Oh, I'm glad I stopped reading that when I did. How was that second try? A truck and trailer by the Chiefs? Hey, Kiwi Rob. Oh, sorry, not a truck and trailer by the Chiefs. Kiwi Rob, I have a game for you. The pin comment, it's predictions. You're normally pretty handy at the old prediction department. If you get it right, you win Super Rugby merch. Pound the Alarms by Nicki Minaj. Your meaning sounds... Sound of Silence is by Disturb. And you roll the big hooter. Wait, that sounds like something else. Then we have got the how come you haven't updated the score? It is updated. It might have been behind a little bit, but that was just because they were checking to see whether or not the try was disallowed. Go. Like that, hooter. Yeah. How do we end? Oh, because the hooter siren sounded for half time. Spot on, Hamish. And go the Blues. It looks like the Chiefs versus Crusaders semi-final spicy. Says Johnny Blaze. Yeah, there's a little bit of a late tail in this tape, isn't there? In terms of 40 more minutes of action between the two sides. How do women and men go overnight? New Zealand bet Germany. The ladies bet, I want to say they bet Argentina. I'll get you the results of, there was one other game that I didn't know the score of. 1 second. We'll go like this. Go like this. Results, fixtures. They're actually almost going on now as well. I think they're just about into day number 2. So New Zealand beat Argentina and the women 38 points to 7. The men managed to get themselves a win over Germany 33-12. The women beat Brazil 40 points to 12. And then New Zealand, they have Argentina later tonight. They must have another game in there too. I think they won their other one too, the Kiwis. Where are they? There they are. They beat Uruguay 40-0. I'm 12. Says you cannot escape. That's an interesting name. We have got there that Jason Hamilton fellow appears to be very. You just know I read out everything, don't you, Jason? Go Germany, says that Craig. Will it be the Chiefs home game? It will be. Yep. So they'll be at FMG Stadium. Currently, the way that it sits, I'm no longer on the leaderboard. Jason has moved up into third. We've got Josh Jacob in second, and Shajil is sitting at the top. Please, my dad betted on the Blues. Says cannot escape. And go Germany in there too. So yeah, New Zealand's men in the sevens. They have their game coming up against. Where is it? They're up against Argentina. That is at 10:30 tonight. Oh, we got the what will the final score be? Anyone who hasn't already put in your prediction, it's worth 60,000 points. So, if you have a score prediction, what's my prediction? I think it's going to be a high-scoring second half. But I'm also not, I think there's not going to be any more points. So everyone back the actual scoreline it is now. You think that? There we go. I've locked in my score. I'm happy enough with it, I think. Do you think Rob Penny was pushed out from the former All Blacks? I don't know. It seemed to be mutual from what I saw in terms of some of the reports. Of course, there's always going to be that little bit of controversy and a little bit of the rumour mill going around. But from what I saw, he was happy enough that his contract ended, and they seem to be happy enough to find someone else. 4-0, says Splash TV. I have a question, Splash TV. Are you going to say that on every single stream until the series? But then if New Zealand, let's just say theoretically, so that you don't get mad, let's say New Zealand win the first, are you then going to change it to 3-1 for the rest of the series until, of course, other results happen too? I hope so. We have got there, so as rugby is so sad over there, having to drive up to 3 hours to play a club game, and you haven't even got enough players, so you borrow from the clubs to play against sometimes, says Zach Cray. Whereabouts are you playing rugby? I feel like most teams round these parts have got enough numbers. Sometimes, to be fair, you find a guy the night before at the pub who has to play his replacement prop or something, like round where I'm from. But most of the teams seem to be able to put together a decent amount. We've actually got a relatively big women's comp as well taking place. I think there's like 6 teams, a few combined teams along the way, but all doing relatively well. I'm just checking my score line to make sure that I actually did my maths. I think I'm not going to be a mile off of my prediction as long as the game goes the way that I think it will. But I won't tell you who I think is going to win this one. Lost a bit of faith after my Canes loss. Canterbury looked the goods again. Yeah, although the Hurricanes did really rotate. I think it's going to be 2-2 and the All Blacks clean sweep of the URC teams, says Kiwi Rob. And do you reckon the All Blacks will go under Rennie? How do you think they'll go? Well, it's very hard to tell. Because the thing is, I've seen people already trying to sack Dave Rennie when he hasn't even selected a team. That's just the way that some people are programmed, that no matter what happens, if it's not the coach that they wanted, they will do everything in their power to badmouth that coach every single chance that they get. So, yeah, if Rennie goes over, let's be honest. If Rennie can tie the series in South Africa, he's done extremely well. We have there, Canes rested a bunch of players, though, says the real Ando. You know why Moana Pacific turned down the deal? I think it was to do with the eligibility of certain players. I think that it was something to do with they would have rather gone under than to have it so that Moana wasn't connected to New Zealand or something like that. There was some sort of fine print that they said, nah, we're not doing it. You need to get yourself in a combined team. Says Fleshin. As in me. I'm about as unfit as you can get. I'd do my hamstring going to the fridge. So I don't think I should be running around on a rugby field. And we have got there. I'm glad Joseph didn't get the job in the end. It's coming from a Highlanders fan, says Zach Cray. Yeah, I think that Joseph got that big boost when he won that game up against the Crusaders. But then from there, I think the momentum did disappear a little bit for him. I'm really happy with Moana's win today. Yeah, it's a nice way to close out the season for Moana Pacifica because at least they can say they won their last ever game. That is if they are never back again. Hopefully they will be, though. Greetings, Hamish, who's your leading contender to captain of the All Blacks now. Barrett is out. I think they're probably going to go Savia. I don't think there'll be too many surprises. They might look at a Taylor. They may look at looking maybe towards one of those younger guys. But I think we're going to see more than likely Savia at the helm, seeing as he's already been in Japan with Rennie. So those guys have probably had a lot more conversations than people realise before this July international period. Although Savia, is he even eligible in July, or does he have to wait till after? Busy week next week, any plans? Quite a few plans that I can think of. E-scooter's definitely going to be a part of them because those things are so much fun. And you guys will get sick of hearing me talk about e-scooters. A few activities throughout the days as well, hopefully. With a little bit of luck. Some food. Food's nice. I like food. We have it there. What Sevens games you doing tonight, tomorrow? I've actually got very little Sevens today, unfortunately, because of the overlap with a lot of the URC matches. There is a chance that I'll be able to do the last quarterfinal, which will be Pool B's winner. But I don't actually know who's in Pool B at the moment. I'll have a quick look. Which group is Pool B? Pool B for the men is... So, yeah, I might be able to do New Zealand's quarterfinal if they finish number 1. Because that would be after the matchup. But more than likely, we'll only get maybe one quarterfinal win. That's just the hopeful side of me, though, says Pro Pleb. Now we have it there. Are you following the NFL? No, I haven't watched it. Unfortunately, Trust the Box will be 92% win this year. So who are they losing to, Splash TV, in that 8%? What Super Rugby do you predict Artie will play for in 2027? Well, the Blues were rumoured, but then we had it talked about earlier on in this game how Torian Barnes, Anton Segner, and Malachi Rampling could be a really, really strong potential loose forward trio for the Blues if they're just given that chance. And this game is probably a good example of it. I was about to say they've probably outplayed the loose forward trio of the Chiefs, but that's also dangerous to say because there are some more established players in that Chiefs loose forward trio. But I think that's possibly not a wrong statement. Number 12 on the Crusaders list. Is that meant to be Paul? Says Pro Pleb. Number 12. Oh, Rian Oil. That's what we've got. But yeah, it's Rian Paul. But for the Chiefs. FMG Stadium. It is about to come alive again for the second half of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Just seeing that try from Sinkinson. The Chiefs got on a bit of a roll near the end of the first half period. But then we did see the Blues score themselves a try right at the end. Just looking at the scoreboard at the moment, or the leaderboard in terms of the quiz. Sajil is there, Josh Jacob, and then also Jason Hamilton. They are the top 3 currently, ladies and gents. If you do want to join in, there is still plenty of time. If you get in a score prediction, it's worth about 60,000 at the moment, but it is the pin comment. And if you go on there, you can still watch the live stream as well. It will have it open alongside it, so you'll be able to do both. But, yeah, big opportunity to win some Super Rugby merch. It's currently valued at $50, the prize that you're allowed to pick from any New Zealand side. So you could get yourself a Chiefs shirt, you could get a cap, you could get a beanie. You probably need a beanie about this time of year, starting to get a bit chilly. Get some socks. Socks are always good. I'm starting to get an ego having my name showing in third, says Jason. As Segner bolter this year. The crazy thing for me at the moment is I almost, because Bolter's normally the one who's a bit of a surprise, right? I think that there should be no denying Segner a spot in the All Blacks this year. And again, that's an extremely bold statement. But the way that he has played, like, I don't know a way that he misses out. Get some Hurricanes underwear. Do they sell that on the Super Rugby merch site? They might do, to be fair. Hamish, we are 7 deep in each position, says Splash TV. And we have it there. I would be grateful for a drawn series in South Africa, says Stuart. And if Segner doesn't get picked for the July test and autumn teams, what more do you think he has to do to make the All Blacks? I don't know what more he can do. He's been solid in the breakdowns, and people always say he's not big enough, but he's actually 6'4". I think he's only 1 centimetre shorter than Papa Lee. Maybe not quite the same frame, but I think he's about 108 kg. So I think it's the haircut and the fact that he looks like he's still very young that some people don't realise that he's actually got a pretty decent sized frame to him. He's in the makings of a great 7, says Seppo there. And also I miss Masunga. Wait, Masanga? He was the best Chiefs ever. For some reason, when I read that, I thought of Liam Messam straight away. That man was around for a long time, wasn't he? I think he was even taking part in NPC either last year or the year prior. Well, $50, I'll donate it to Moana Pacifica. Says Tama Bright. And the good news is, after that, they'll only need another $14,999,950 to be able to keep running. But they had the offer and they declined it, Moana Pacifica. So I don't know what they're doing. They did do a catch the Colonel at halftime. I might have to catch the Colonel after this live stream, see what he's up to. But currently sitting just about to make their way out of the stands again, or the changing sheds. And Fiji South Africa just kicked off. That's for the ladies' game, right, Kiwi Rob? What's Signa's best position? I think I would play him as potentially a 6 for the All Blacks, I think. But 7 would be good too. Graham Henry watching on. So this is another good game for Signa to be able to have stepped up. And Graham Henry scouting the ABs. And also, strange thing. What's the T3? What's T3? I don't know what T3 stands for. I'm not very hip with terminology. I'm getting old. And Anton Signa, he's continuing on in this game as the captain in that number 7 jersey. Yes, I'm watching the 7, says Kiwi Rob. So do let me know the score at the end of that one, Kiwi Rob. I think South Africa were supposed to be underdogs heading into that game. We're currently on 24 players. If we get to 30, we can push it up to $60 worth, says White Nyor. So yeah, anyone who hasn't already, pin comment. The scores, I'll be honest, we haven't done that well so far as a collective unit. But there are still plenty more points up for grabs in the second half. And if you get them right, you move up the leaderboard. And if you're number 1 at the end, you get yourself that $60 if we get the extra 6 or the $50 worth of Super Rugby merchandise. This one's going to be kicked off by Josh Jacob. Nice take from Stephen Perofeta. A good tackle made on him by Rian Paul. I don't think Henry ever switched his rugby brain off, says Zachary. Yeah, he would have been watching Super Rugby. He would have been watching internationals, keeping an eye on everyone just in case that opportunity ever did arise again. I'm being told to use it now, Sam Knock. Nice take from Liam Coombs, fabbling, and that's a big run. Being able to get round the tackle of AJ Lamb. And Chiefs will win 34-29. And he watches everything any game. And Ladybox 7s are bad. Although, to be fair, they came from Division 3, so they've actually done very well to be in the championship leagues. But you've also got to take it into consideration in terms of, you know, the level that they are at, in terms of funding, in terms of player depth. It's just not quite there yet, but that doesn't mean that it can't be. And being on the world stage is certainly going to help them in the right direction. There's an advantage here at the moment in favour of this Chiefs team with Cortez Ratame having pressure in the breakdown. I think they'll decide to just go back and give the penalty. They do. Like Signa's grit and work rate. Says Sappo there. And man, Origin is so last year. It was so last, not even last week, was it? It was just last 4 days ago. 3 days ago. I don't even know what day it is. It's Saturday, right? And is the Moana Pacifica one of the biggest upsets or just expected? The Moana Pacifica win? I'd say, like, it's an upset and a half, but not the biggest one. I think what's a bigger upset is the fact that the Brumbies lost 2 games to the draw and the one to Moana Pacifica. They didn't beat a Pacific Island team this year. Yet, they beat 4 out of the 5 New Zealand sides. So I don't know how that works. Dan Hamish blocked me, says Clifford. How'd that happen? But you're commenting, so surely I haven't. I think it's just because of the fact that the chat's going so quickly that I haven't quite been able to read out every single message. We're doing about 4 different things at once at the moment in terms of the commentary, the reading of the chat, the next play one as well. Tyrone Thompson ready to throw this one in, sitting about 20 metres out from the Blues line. And sorry, I'm late to the party. Can you explain the next play promo, please, Hamish? So pretty much it is live predictions while the match is going on. If you get the questions right, you will get yourself points. You work your way up the leaderboard while the game is taking place. You can also still watch the stream through the website of Next Play. You put your username in. You don't have to enter an email or anything unless you win so that they can contact you. And then from there, there's a chance to win some Super Rugby merch. It's not actually a sponsor. And it's also, like, I'm not actually affiliated with the organisation or company themselves. But they needed a stream or two to be able to give a bit of a trial run, see how it reacts, as it is still very early on in the trial. So we thought, why not chuck it on some Super Rugby and URC for this weekend. Naitoa Akoi, now looking for the steal on the breakdown. James Mullen. Now Ratama goes back across to Tyrone Thompson. Trying to get there every single breakdown at the moment. Other Blues looking for the steal. I think it's just because of the speed of the chat. I haven't been able to read out each message. Says Ep Jag it all goes. Although I'd read out that one, so I've done well there. Although I do see I've missed about 7 comments before there. Now sitting about 20 metres out still. Cortez Ratama goes back across to Sama Penny-Finau. We clean out from Josh Lord. Now Ratama moves it across to Jacob to Rian Paul. He's had a solid enough game in the number 12 jersey as his counterpart in number 12. Peter Aki makes the tackle on him. Good low one from Caleb Clark. Pick and go from Ratama. Now short side. Satiti almost wrestled over the sideline. Now Jerome Brown going off to Tyrone Thompson. He's had some solid carries. He's probably done enough to book himself that spot off the bench, I would say. They've got Brodie McAllister, who of course was an All Black last season, but I think that Thompson's going to be Tokiaho's backup in the playoff games unless something drastic happens. Another straight carry from Rian Paul, tackled by Derry. Now Ratama, that's some brilliant hands from the big man George Dyer. The ball was all but touching the turf. There's a clean out past the ball from Jared Prophet. Now back across Naitoa Akoi. Now it's dropped this time by Sama Penny-Finau as they started getting the attack going. Watch from vacation in Morocco, says Zakaya. Aussie commentators always try to gas up the home loss as some great upset can be break, says Seppo there. And also we've got there, they're used to losing on the road all the time, says Zach Gray. And thank you very much, guys. We're at 25 users. We get to 30. Let's encourage each other up to $100. And prizes up for grabs, says White Nyor. So yeah, the way to join that next play prediction, which is still going on by the way. Sajil is still sitting at the top. Points haven't changed for a long time. Getting a lot of things wrong, it would seem. But yeah, which that pretty much means anyone who joins now, if you get a couple questions right, you can actually still win. Because the questions get worth more and more as the match progresses. Near the end of the game, there'll be questions worth 20,000. So be sure to jump on it. How good is Josh Lord? He's a phenomenal talent. And I mentioned about it in the build-up of this contest that he was one that when he was in the All Blacks, people said, why is he there? But then this year, as well as last year, he really proved a lot of people wrong. Because he's got the height, he's got the skill, he's got the line breaks this season as well. Who do you think will win? I think that the Chiefs, that little patch where they were able to just keep on going and score 3 tries back to back, that was probably... But they're only up by 4. I'd say that because of that, if the Chiefs find another role, they'll win this game. But they need another little moment like that one. We have you there, Jamie Hanna needs to be in the All Blacks tour squad. I agree. I think he's done enough. Definitely with the injury now of Scott Barrett. The fact that Tui Piloto is having neck issues. I think you chuck Jamie Hanna in as a bolter. See what he can do. In fact, I'll even go one higher and say he should probably be in the July international squad as well. But then I guess you can't pick everyone in the locks. That's the tricky part. But I'd probably still pick him as a bolter. Now, Sam Knock. Good solid scrum there. Although the Chiefs getting a little bit of afters and they will get the penalty. Satiti takes it quickly. He is gone with the tap and he's over the line with the try now. That didn't look that close to the mark, but they do have a rule in Super Rugby that you're allowed to be, I think it's within 2 or 3 metres of the mark as long as you're behind it. So we'll see the replay here. Was Satiti in the right place, right time? And he has scored the try there. 24-15, the way that the scoreline sits. Right, so it was just next to the post. Oh yeah, he was well and truly within that mark. Players still down from the scrum. Took it quickly and finds his way over the try line. And good line-out skills on him, says that. Great. Yeah, a few steal from Jamie Hanna. Tell you what, someone who they'd love to have in the locks, Warner Dearns. Sadly, not quite, though. And if he plays for Japan again, then definitely not quite. But Josh Jacob now to line up this kick. I think we'll go like this. We go like that. We have got there. Where would you put Leicester? 7 or at 13 for the All Blacks? I think there's a way that you can probably use... I would use them as a bit of an impact off the bench. Make it into one of those 6-2 hybrid splits. But at the same time, in a starting lineup, I think I would go with him. I don't like the midfield combination of Barrett and Leicester. That's one thing I'll say. I think that, like, Tapia and Leicester, maybe. I wish Dearns was available for us, says Zakaya. And yeah, I think a lot of people do. But I think he's still got a couple more years. Put him in the World X, in a World XV. And Orenran debut, yeah, the young man did take part in that under-20 final last year, as well as the rest of the championship. And the under-20 champs. Of course, that is coming up in the near future, ladies and gents. I'll be annoyed if my date of birth question is not you soon, says Jason. And Quinn at 13 says Tama. Quinn at 13, Barrett, or Leicester at 12, Tama, in that case. But Odin Ryan, the big chance for he should say he is staying. New Zealand Rugby blocked him from going overseas. So he's stuck in the country. He's not allowed to leave, unless, of course, it's with the All Blacks on a flight. He's going to, says Zach Craig. Okay, both sides just agreeing on the scrum. And I kind of think if you're going on form, Quinn at 12 and Geordie at 13. And your girlfriend is very lucky, says Sophia. And kia ora, all been listening, G, on TV to you, says Moa Hunters. I did struggle to read that a little bit more than I should have. Oh, another scrum reset. Both to ground. That is going to be the reset again. 32 minutes through this contest. I just got 9,260 points. And I'm the king of partial points, I'm guessing, says Jason. And do you think is the best? Or who do you think is the best All Black in the last 10 years? 10 years is a long time. So that takes us 2016, right? Who would you put? Last 10. Because you want someone who's been around for pretty much the 10 years. I was about to say someone's name that might get me in trouble. Beautiful backline for the Blues. AJ Lamb in the corner the same way that Sinkinson scored it in the first. Or did he? I think they want to check this one. Angus Gardner looking towards his assistant referees. Towards that big screen. Dropped it, says Peanut Slab. Oh, was it in the finish that Lamb wasn't quite able to put it down, maybe? But going on the outside. And, oh, that one looking a little bit like basketball there for AJ Lamb. The arm was hit. Oh, he's dropped it. He has dropped it. Jacob has put in a massive shot to stop him from getting the grounding. And this one's going to be no try for the Blues. I mean, that was their kryptonite in the first half, was trying to hang on to the ball. They did drop it multiple times, 26 people in the quiz. I also like to join the interactive quiz to be in to win the potential $100 merch of your choice. Currently, it is at $50, right? So 4 more people, if they join, they will up their prize stakes to $60. They can get you a few different bits of merch off the Super Rugby website. But yeah, no try for AJ Lamb, who will be frustrated. Wait, what am I saying? Quinn at 12, Proctor at 13. See Sapo there? Yeah, that worked last time for the All Blacks. It hasn't been used a lot. Like, people have already ruled out Proctor as their 13, but Proctor's only ever been alongside Barrett 90% of the time. And Bowden Barrett, Brody Retallick, or Aaron Smith, they were actually the 3 that came to my mind. Like, Savia, he didn't... When did he debut? He was a bit later in the decade, wasn't he? And when it's the URC Games, New Zealand time, says LB. So the first one is going to be taking place at 11 p.m. Second one at 1:30 a.m. And then the last one will be at 7 a.m. And we're going to be covering all 3 of them on the channel. The one at 7 a.m. between the Leinster and Lions sides. That one is also going to have the next play quiz. So there will be the chance to win some more merchandise for you guys over the weekend. Peter Arkey going for the grubber in behind. Awkward bouncing ball. Jacob cleans up nicely, but has Taeli right on him. And almost a steal. In fact, it is a great turnover for the Blues. Put the ball down. Sees Angus Garner to Jerome Brown. Quick tap taken by Sam Derry. No try. What happened? He dropped it. But now they're trying to get over the line this time without a knock on. Tyrone Thompson in the breakdown. Pick and go. They're moving it nicely at the moment here for the Blues. Only a couple metres short. Tyrone Thompson in fact, it's Wallace Satiti. He's on the ball. Has he got it? Referee's looking in the breakdown very closely. I think he was on the wrong side there. He didn't actually see Satiti's hands on the ball initially. Now this time, looking for another steal. 2 metres out from the line. Sam Nock. Advantage now in play of the Blues. I think that's for the Chiefs slowing it down, which could result in a yellow card. But Petafeta going to the right, doesn't decide to send it wide. I think they will this time. Now Odenran, the youngster in the number 16 jersey, pick and go from Torian Barnes. And now just short, thought about reaching out. Jerome Brown trying to get the steal too. Sam Nock lurking here in the breakdown, trying to find a way of feeding it back to his forwards. That's very close to the line, but Gary, there was a bit of a crawling motion. But it looks like he's going to be just short of the line anyway. Now short again. This is multiple phases right on the Chiefs goal line. Now looking to sling it out wide. Petafeta short ball obstruction. And that will be a penalty against AJ Lamb. Or at least it should have been, but they will now go back for the original advantage, which is in favour of the Blues right out in front of the post. This would also more than likely be a last warning for the Chiefs. Any more penalties on this part of the field and they will be finding themselves with someone going to the bin. And thanks, I'll try and watch the first one live, says LB. And also, less that 7 for the ABs would be left field. They had a new or good plan, says Laurie. And the bus was ripping it up before Hardy. That is true. Some people forget about Julian Savia's like prime years for the ABs, where that man, like you don't get the nickname the bus for no reason. Like you got to run over quite a few people. Well, to be fair, I don't think they call buses that because they've run people over, but you know, you got to break a few tackles to get that nickname. Sam Derry just short again. Naitai Akoi makes the crucial tackle, but the Blues are honing in on another opportunity to score here. Balls come out the back. Knott goes off to the right-hand side. Now Rampling gets spun around and his tackle. I don't know who. That was weird. Naitai Akoi just got tackled nowhere near the breakdown, but I think he was on the wrong side of the ruck, so that is why he got tackled, but still looked a little bit like a weird situation. Now moving away to the right, reaching out Odenrain. Did he get the ball down? I think he's over. Yes, he is. And the youngster scores on debut. And Eli Odenrain scores a very crucial try for this Blues side. As they are now back. Oh, a little bit of push and shove too there. That was led by Naitai Akoi, probably because of randomly getting taken out. And we have there, yellow card, says Mac. Not quite, but definitely on the last warning situation there. Do you play video games? If so, are you a PC gamer or console gamer? Says Wally. Probably more console, only because my PC tries to explode if I try and play any games on it. I've got a gaming laptop, though, that I use to edit, that I've got a couple games on, including Rugby 25. That seemed like a good purchase at the time. Or was it Rugby 26? Whatever the newest one is that's still broken, that's the one that I've got. Now Zahn Sullivan. Getting ready again to kick this one and has missed it. Away to the left-hand side. We've got Splashy in first place at the moment in terms of the overall standings. And we have got there, Blues have a bad goal kicker, 8 points missed, says Clifford. They've only missed, it's not 8 kicks or 8 points missed, is it? Because they've only scored 3 tries. So they've had 3 tries, 1 misconversion. Oh, sorry, there must be 2 misconversions, and then they were able to get the 3-pointer. So it must only be 4 points that they've missed so far because they've only scored 3. And Abro says, dog game and welcome in. Yeah, I've got there 27 people in the quiz. So 3 more would put it up to 60. And they're from the next play, fellas. So yeah, if you do want to join, even if you just join to answer a couple questions near the end of the game, you will be able to increase that pool. But also with the amount of points that are available later on, you could also still win, even if you're joining now. One's going to be put into Dutch. A lot of people have run out or run over by buses due to walking out in front of moving bus. Yeah. Well, it's hard to get run over by a bus that's not moving. And if you do, that's actually probably more of a skill than anything. Why does the Stormers need to be at 1:30 a.m, says LB? Just to hurt us fellas in the New Zealand and Australia time zones. Although Australia not awful. That would be about 11:30 in some places. Got the hearts there from Sophia too. But it looks like now Wallace Satiti. He will make his way off of the field. Go Tyrone Thompson. Says Tyrone himself. 26 minutes remain, though, and 6 points sit in between them. What a dad joke, says Sophia. Is that the one about the bus? I feel like there are good jokes about, oh, that's a nice ball on the inside. Kieran Tomoe Falau moves up to 25 metres out from the line. Now Ratama moving it back across to the right. Now passes back across to Caleb Boshier. And yes, about the bus. Lalakai Fukiti makes his way on the field for Rona. Now Lord to 22 metres out there. Still more than enough time. Can you say Valladolid? Oh, that's a high shot on Summer. Penny Fino, but the ball on the outside to Sinkinson, who flies down the wing and gets a knee in the back of the head for his troubles. But he has scored the try, and the Chiefs now get that lead back to a little bit more comfortable. They might want to check one of those passes in the build-up, I would say. But Summer Penny Fino, he got hit what looked like in the head. Oh, no, it was just a big solid shot on him. His New Zealand under-20 pedigree like Rapley. He does, yeah, he was involved in that under-20s final up against South Africa last year and also involved in the under-20s rugby championship last year as well. How many do they need for a bonus point, says Murray? So to get a bonus point, you would need to get 3 or more tries than your opposition. But pretty much the gist of this game, with the way that the playoffs sit, is if the Blues win, they host the Crusaders in Eden Park. If they lose this game, the Crusaders host the Blues in Christchurch as one of the playoff games, which would be absolutely incredible. I think both would be absolutely incredible, to be fair. But now that one just sneaks over. Blues win, does it go does it go well for the Crusaders? No. So if the Blues win, Eden Park's the host venue. If the Blues lose, they have to play the Crusaders in Christchurch at a stadium where the Crusaders have not lost yet. So Teddy coming off already. I think that's strategic. At the end of the day, you don't want to risk him getting an injury throughout this next 24 minutes and have him unavailable next week up against the Reds. And we have got there something missing from the Blues this season, says Tama. And Flesh and David in first place. He won last time. Will he get it again? Who will stop him? Tell you what, he's made the little bit of the miraculous comeback there. Because I think you were behind, weren't you, Fleshing? Well, you joined late. Wait, who's that in first now? It's Jingles. Who's Jingles? Who is this Jingles that we speak of in the comments? I'm trying to think of whose name that translates to. Who is Jingles? It's a TT try. Now, Finley Christie goes away to the left-hand side. That's a big shot on Satiti. Oh, sorry, not on Satiti, on Samapini Finau again. Now going away to the left-hand side. Chance here for Christie to move it on to the right. We have it there. What is this? PS says we're all bleed and breathe. As in like the live stream, the leaderboard, or the scoreline. Or all three, maybe. And we're picking the AB's team next week, who starts at 10. I think if it was next week, you'd still give Mackenzie the crack, but I think that Roygaard and Ruben Love might be a combination we do see. And not Barrett says the real Ando, the awkward bouncing ball here, and it might sit up for the Chiefs. Yes, it does. Sinkinson almost break it away. In fact, it's Coombs Babley down the wing, and he will run it, and it's another try for the Chiefs. Back to back on the board, and now well and truly keeping this game in control. But it all happened from one awkward bounce. Sometimes that rugby ball can be your best friend. Sometimes it can be your worst enemy. And for the Blues, it was doing anything but sit it up nicely. For Stephen Petafeta, everyone knows Jingles, do we? Who is Jingles? Oh, yes, says Nada Boy. Oh, yeah, we've got there. Oh, so Chiefs got this win now. And Blues missing Tui Pilotu and an informed Barrett. But yeah, managing to get back up to his feet. Liam Coombs Fabling doing beautifully to be able to get back up and not count as being tackled. And now one step closer to Christchurch for this Blues team, unless they can somehow turn this one around. Sitting 80% at the moment in the accuracy department. And Josh Jacob adds another 2. That is hurting big time there, as that now makes the score 40 points to 20. I got Spurs that jiggle, jangle, jiggle, says Zach Ray. Sorry, jingle rather than jiggle. And backspin on that kick, says Dunk. Whoever this Jingles is absolutely dominating, by the way, in terms of points. But I don't know who it is. I know who Josh Jacob is. That's Big Rig. We know who Sharjah is. We know who Fleshin was. Jason as well. I don't want to see Mackenzie's crack. But I hope he crams it. It opens things up naturally. And 28 people in playing the quiz. 2 more to join, and it will be up to $60. And yes, come on, the Chiefs. Another big run from the Chiefs already. After just getting themselves the ball. Trying to go for the offload there. So Tutu has made his way. And Jingles with 122,000 points. And no one knows who Jingles is. Jingles could be Kiwi Rob. Maybe. He hasn't said, although he was watching the sevens, wasn't he? Now, trying to kick that one in behind was Jacob. Picked up by Jerome Brown. I've been second for 80% of the game. Although if you get your score prediction right, you will have a good chance of going up that little bit further. Caleb Clark trying to slap that one back. The side of the Blues. Now Christie. Cross again. Big shot on Ofa Tungafasi. Made his way off the bench. Now Stephen Petafeta going for the chip in behind. So Tutu looks like he is bursting after this one. But again, the ball. Oh, and a clothesline there on Cortez Ratam. A bit of a late cheap shot from Satutu, which will probably lead to an advantage. Now Liam Coons-Fabling kicks it down the field again. And now Taeli, no option. Just to put that one into touch. Richard. Oh, so Richard is Jingles. Well, you're doing very well, Richard. The silent assassin per se. I think that's the first message that we've seen from you, or at least the first one that I've seen on the stream. You've just been quietly analysing this game, getting yourself over the 100,000 points. We have got there, Hamish. As always, you're doing a great job. Shout out to my niece. Lou, we'll call her. Currently 19 minutes remaining. And Satutu shaped me, although he couldn't have done much different there. The ball just didn't go towards him in terms of the awkward bounce. Line out here for Brodie McAllister. And again, I'll mention the way that we saw, big shot there on Lalakai Feketi by Taeli, but got bumped off. Yeah, the way that we're seeing Tyrone Thompson play in the starting role for this game, I think that he's the backup to Samastoni Tolkiaho in the playoffs. Kicked him behind. Oh, the ball is just so brutally bouncing. And again, it almost sits up for the Chiefs. The Blues, they will be wondering what is going on. Because that just does not want to go near them. He's overnight, Akoi. Rugby's a brutal game sometimes. I don't think the Blues can do anything about the way that this ball is bouncing. But every single time that ball hits the turf, it is going in such a random direction that has made it near on impossible for the Blues to be able to touch it. And I think that's what Jacobs realised. We see it there, the bounce of the ball. And then it just avoids Stephen Petafeta, sits up for Fee now. And then Naito Akoi straight into the breakdown after the profit carry. And manages to get himself that try. Let's get everybody to drop one word to describe the next play quiz. We want to hear what you all think. Says Nua in there. And go the Chiefs, says Murray. I guess my one game winning streak is over. Not necessarily. Because there is still time. Who is high? Wait. I don't mean it like that. Who is H-I, I should say. Yep. Ready for this line out. Oh, sorry, not this line out. Josh Jacob lines up the shot at the post, and it does just narrowly miss, but it's still 45 points to the 20. We have got there is Gabe on the field. Now Naito Akoi does get himself another one for the season. He's been pretty solid throughout this year. I know that Josh Lord and Tupavai get a lot of the credit for what they've been able to do. And 2 forwards chasing the kick and they regather it, Shane Blues. Yeah, but the bounce was awful, wasn't it? In terms of the way that it went. We have got there, mate, please stop with all the fantasy nonsense that's wrecking your commentary, says Ross. It is just a trial run, so of course they will be accepting feedback. But it isn't on every stream that we are doing as well. So Yeah, it's just a little bit of something different. We thought we'd try something different, but obviously some people get angry about any changes. That's going to be the penalty going the way of the Chiefs. They will again be able to just keep on continuing this momentum. They are currently up by 25. This game was only separated by 6 points, like probably 15 minutes ago, somewhere around there. Too many blowouts this weekend makes Super Rugby soft. Says Tama, yeah, but everyone's resting their players trying to get towards those playoff finals. You know, the last thing that you want, for instance, let's say for this team, they had chucked Tapaya out there, they had chucked Tupavai out there, and then both men get injured. Then you're in a tricky scenario where you just, you can't afford to lose those big players just before the big match moments. Now, line out throw here for Brodie McAllister. Sitting 15 minutes left on the clock, and the Chiefs are sitting 5 points away from the 50. Now, Taitaroa Rangi passes across to Sama Penifee. Now, great hands from Boshier again, but a big driving shot from AJ Lamb. Now, Rangi goes off to George Dyer. Now, Rangi again will play it. Where are they playing? They are playing in Waikato for this game, but if the Blues lose, which at the moment it looks like they are going to, it means that they will be playing up against the Crusaders in Christchurch for their playoff game. Now pick and go again from Jerome Brown. Will it be an all-Kiwi semi-final, says Ed Smith? It could be. The thing is, the Brumbies and the Reds, they both have to try and do it away from home. So that's going to be quite the challenge. Although, to be fair, the Brumbies have beaten many New Zealand sides, but they haven't beaten the Hurricanes. I believe that's the one side that they haven't been able to get past. Now going back to the right. Just a couple metres short now. Rangi. Back across to Jacob. Inside ball to Sinkinson, and the Blues are looking tired in terms of the way that they are defending at the moment. And it's just repeat phases. Time after time, they'll go back for the penalty, though. Let's go, Waimati. Says Bros Division, and respect for the pronunciation. Love your work, G. Says slowly. Thank you very much. But now Derry is going to be the man who was penalised. And they're playing at the local Southwood School. It's an annual event. And so judging from the games, who would you put in the engine room next week for the Chiefs? Well, I would say you put Tyrone Thompson off the bench. For me, he's done enough to earn his spot there. I would say, who else do you chuck in? From this game, I feel like, Coy will be off the bench anyway. I think that Jacob will be somewhere in the mix, but more than likely they'll go back to McKenzie as that starting option, just to have him in there. Sinkinson's been solid, but if they've got other certain players available, he might end up missing out. You also got Hutchinson returning, more than likely from his concussion. Big scrum here for the Chiefs. Kalen Boshier, this is a massive push. It was almost heading towards penalty try region, but now they don't need it because running straight through and scoring is Rian Paul. And that brings up the half century now for this Chiefs side at FMG Stadium. Who do the Chiefs and the Canes play next? So the Chiefs will be playing up against the Reds. The Hurricanes will be playing up against the Brumbies. So, couple New Zealand versus Australia derbies. And that department, what happened there, it was just a massive solid scrum, about probably 7 or so metres they gained initially, and then the ball just popped out for triple T. Rian Paul, there was a bit of a miscommunication there. It kind of looked like the Blues thought that it was going back for the penalty. They halfway stopped defending. Well, not 4 p.m. game over me at Eden Park next week. Or is it the early match that they're going to be having at the... I guess because they'd let the sides pick, right? There are 3 new names on the leaderboard in terms of compared to the first half. I've noticed as well, ladies and gents. Let's go to the Chiefs. Says Elite. Rian All. Says Suppo. His name's Rian Paul. It is. It's spelt differently on the screen, of course, but we did call them Rian Paul throughout this game. There's just, O and P are very close to each other, and it's one that snuck through the editing. And we have got there the Blues out of the, if they lose next week, yes. Oh, no. Depending. If all of the favourites win their games next week, the Blues would go through as the lucky loser in 4th. Is Clark still out there? I think so. I saw him, I thought, on this near side a while ago. Oh, no, actually, to be fair, AJ Lamb's out there, so Cody Vi might be on for for Clark. 50-22 sounds better. So here's Clifford. Now back across Sullivan. Now moving the ball on nicely. Corey Evans out to Cody Vi. Couldn't quite free up the arms. Do you think it's fair if the ref walks off the field if he's given too much lip, says Colossal? I don't think we've had a scenario like that. I think the referee should be allowed to give out yellow cards if people are talking smack to them out there. Definitely when it's not the captain, I think send them off. They'll learn. Going to the left-hand side now, so Tutu. He had a weird pass there, but it's going to work out. Nice backline it is, Caleb Clark, who just scored in an awkward manner. His arm kind of got stuck underneath him, so he flopped on his face. But the Blues have got another one in this game. 10 minutes remain in what has been a very high-scoring game now between these two sides. The scoreline sits 52-25. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. And Abbott says Nahana in there. And I was like, let's go. Wait, if you had Caleb Clark to score, he just did score, though, for you, Nahana. So it's worked out in the end. Now, still the 10 minutes. It's a 77-point game at the moment between the two sides. Blues are pretty much guaranteed a semi-final. Pretty much, but not 100% guaranteed, because if the Reds or the Brumbies cause the upset, then the Hurricanes and the Chiefs, or one of those two sides, would get the lucky loser, which would then mean that if the Blues were to lose to the Crusaders, they're gone, which is pretty brutal, but that's why home field advantage can be absolutely crucial, but I think they've left it too little too late, or too late, I should say. Must have been one of the rare occasions I heard Caleb Clark's name mentioned. Yeah, they haven't really gone on his wing today. The most that I saw him was when he was working way off the wing in the centres early on in the game. Since then, they've gone a lot to AJ Lamb on the near side of the field. Now it's going to be kicked off by the Chiefs to get us back underway. Is the playoff format still the same as last year? Yes. So, yep, 6 sides play, 4 qualify for the semis. Whoever's the highest ranked loser does also qualify for the semi-finals as the lucky loser. But then also alongside that, you also, I keep on saying also, but the team who loses, they don't get their home field advantage for the semi, I believe is the way that it works out. And got the last question wrong, says Jason. Now Sam Derrick. Sitting about 38 metres out from the line. Christie going away to the right-hand side. Off a Tunga Fasi moves it on. Sullivan out to Segner. Oh, that was a hard collision with Kieran Tumoifalau. He's had a couple of crucial moments for the Chiefs throughout this game. Bit of a netball-style pass. It's gone forward, though, from the Blues. Another error. As Hurricanes are essentially through to the semis, correct, yes. Because they're the number 1 qualified, no matter what, they are through. Now, the thing is, though, you could look at it like they could be strategic and rest players again. But if they were to lose their game of the of the playoffs, they would lose their home field advantage for their semi more than likely. Okay, they are just showing it there. Crusaders versus Blues. Oh, okay, as it stands, I'm going to take a photo of that. As it stands, it would be Hurricanes versus Brumbies Friday night, 6 p.m. That's an interest. Oh, no, that's the build-up for when it's going to start. Then the game between the Crusaders and the Blues would be starting at 4:35 p.m. And then the Chiefs versus Reds would be happening at 7:05. Oh, that's annoying. I was going to say, if the Crusaders game up against the Blues didn't, or if it was the later game, I could have almost made it to it because I'll only be about 20 minutes from the stadium on that day. Now offload there again. Brody McAllister, the big wide cutout pass to Kieran Tomoifalau. He leapfrogs, beautiful offload to Summer Penny-Fee. Now the Blues have conceded another one. So that is now pretty much confirming what we already knew in terms of those playoff matches just around the corner. What a game. And what a pass there's another boy. Yeah, Kieran Tomoifalau, as he was getting tackled towards the sideline, flicked it back on the inside playing this game. There's a definite difference between this and last night's game. Says question. As in like the amount of questions or the amount of points or... There have been a lot of points available. I think people are up to about 200,000, aren't they? 248,000 for High. Who is the username High, by the way? We haven't worked that one just out yet. But McAllister, the big wide ball. Then going out to Kieran Tomoe-Falau, who tried to leapfrog Christie while also doing the perfect offload on the inside. And that one's gone over as well. Making the score now 59 points to 27. But concern here for... Okay, that's actually Brodie McAllister. He took a bit of a nasty shot to his ribs and then did buckle the knee on the way down to the turf. Now, I know that I said Samisoni Taukiaho would be starting and then Tyrone Thompson off the bench, but that doesn't mean that the other option for the hooker has to get injured. Big deal, I made that pass all the time, says Suppo. Now, Kieran Tomoe-Falau again offloads the ball back infield so that he doesn't concede the line out. Pass from Tupaia Cook-Savage. This is just nice passing here from the Chiefs, knocked on by Sinkinson. Well, it was nice as it could be. There were a few rough ones thrown in there, but everything just seemed to go straight back into still the momentum going forward. The Blues have decided to take this one quick. Matty Levi's off. Is that with an injury or just a sub there, Kiwi Rob? Now, right-hand side, Christie. Good pass across. He couldn't get it away for another one. I think the Blues are trying to close in on a bonus point, although that doesn't actually change too much for them. They would need to win this game from here, which would mean that they need to score 4 tries in 4.5 minutes. It's not impossible, but it's certainly going to be very difficult to be able to do more lineouts and more kicks converted last night. Says Fleshin. Yeah, that's true. We haven't actually had a huge amount of lineouts. Also, I think the lineout question hasn't been used much in the quiz either, just because of the technicalities of where the ball can end up. In terms of players switching position and whatnot now. Finley Christie away to the right-hand side. Orenran, he's already scored himself 1 try on debut. Would have absolutely loved the double. Christie passes it across, trying to reach out just short of the line there for Corey Evans. Christie short to Lachlan McWano, and there's a penalty. Double blow of the whistle here. This could be a yellow card. And injury by the looks of it, so that is not ideal. USA 14 to Australia's 10. Quick tap taken again by the Blues. About 3 metres out. Now Hoskins to 2-2. Oh, chopping tackle there. They said he stepped away. He only stepped away because he was going to have both of his knees taken out from underneath him. We have them. Do you get bonus points for consistency? Or consistency and asking if Will Jordan's playing at all? I don't think they got bonus points. They won USA beat Australia. That is a big result. And that now means that New Zealand and Australia could play in the semis, right? Ball is still on the side of the Blues, though. Now Sam Derry. Away to Satutu, pops it back to Sullivan, delays the pass. That looked very forward, but AJ Lamb. Okay, they're just checking it with the TMO by the sounds of it as well. Ball stolen in the breakdown by the Chiefs. Te Tarota Hudiarangi kicks it in behind. Still a bit of a foot race going on here between Cody Vai and Tomoe-Falau. Now Vai managed to keep it on the field of play, turned into a little bit of football there. Looks like Jerome Brown may have just got cramped from having the ball kicked at him. That's a unique experience there. Yeah, he's struggling big time. Jerome Brown, he blocked the grubber of Zahn Sullivan, and in doing so, ended up pretty much ripping his hamstring to shreds. Super Rugby all-time most points versus the Blues. Tonight is second on that table. And they've still got another 2.5 minutes remaining. The last time that they scored more points and the only time that they've scored more was back in 2009, where they did score 61 up against the Blues. The last time that they scored 37 points was 2020, so normally low scoring, but this game has been anything but. It's been open. They ripped his hammy to shreds. Mate says B-Mass there. It will be tough to finish out this game with the amount of time remaining, but I'm sure he will try and stick it out for a little bit longer. Sullivan also getting a bit of medical attention on that ankle, getting it all strapped up to be able to continue for the last 2.5 minutes. Both of these sides will be in action next week. And that is, of course, for the playoff games. The qualifying final will be 7:05 on Friday night. That is Hurricanes versus Brumbies. Then from there, it is Crusaders versus Blues at 4:35 p.m. at One New Zealand Stadium in Christchurch. And then the last game will be the Reds versus the Chiefs. Hey, bro, it's me, Stephen. Says, bro, I know you were mentioning about Waimati earlier. And we have got there, I searched turgid. Result in the dictionary was blues. Says Dunk. Yeah, still 2.5 minutes remaining. They're talking about the sellout games. I can tell you right now, if tickets are available for their for One New Zealand Stadium's match, they are probably already selling thousands. Biggest win versus the Blues, 32 points. It's the all-time biggest win for the Chiefs as well, if this is the way that it stays. Hello, says Bobo. And they're too welcome in. Our ball's put in by the Chiefs, and they are not done yet in this game. If they score once more, that will be the record big win and big points. Offload attempted there from Brian Paul. Referee trying to jump out of the way of it. It has been knocked on, and Segner now goes for a kick downfield. He's still got a little bit left in the gas tank. Although Liam Coombs Fabling in no hurry to run this one out from his own 22. He's ended up cleaning out the player in the process there, Segner. Now Zahn Sullivan, after strapping that ankle, is going to test it with a step. Would all finals be in New Zealand? Yes. They would all be on Kiwi soil, which is why there is that early game of 4:35, because of the fact that they're all Kiwi games. Normally they'd have a 9:35 game on this Saturday night, had an Australian side, had a higher qualification. Ball still on the side of the Blues. 90 seconds remaining, pressure being put on. Looks like they're just going to be able to hang on to it with Flynn Yates. And we have got their Blues have to climb a mountain next week, which they certainly do. Makes it a lot more difficult than had the game been at Eden Park. But they can also take away the Crusaders' undefeated winning streak at the new stadium. So that would be a pretty big achievement. Might even knock the Crusaders out of the comp, depending on what else happens. Now Finley Christie. Way to the right-hand side now. Now moving the ball on, Segner. Goes across Sullivan, offload to Clark. Now 40 seconds remain. Christie passes across, good step from Odenrain. He's over again, the youngster. A debut of dreams in terms of what he's been able to do. But not so much in terms of the score sheet, although actually Anton Segner's saying that it's no try. He has signalled that it should be going upstairs. Does he get it down? No, I think he might have almost had that ball stolen off him, the Odenrain. That is the full-time siren that we can just hear in the background as well, so it is going to be the goal line dropout for the Chiefs. Do the Blues look for one more attack, or do they just call it a day? It's kicked out on the full from Tupaia Cook-Savage, which does now mean 5-metre scrum for the Blues. Okay, so Tupaia Cook-Savage kicked it out on the full because he thought that was going to be the end of the game. Referee has just said, I just told you that that wasn't going to be the end of the game if you kick it out on the full. So it is now 5-metre scrum here for the Blues. Cut down on this deficit. Just add a little bit more. Awesome multitasker, Hamish. Says Payapa there. It's been hard work. Super Rugby, it is heavily fast-paced. But at the moment, I think it's going to come down to predictions in terms of who got the full-time score the closest, because it was worth 100,000 points. But I don't think anyone was predicting this in terms of the scoreline. But just this final moment. I will mention the next live stream that we have got as well, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the match taking place between the Bulls and Munster. That is the 11 p.m. kickoff, but we are starting 15 minutes early for that one. Now, the big scrum advantage in favour of the Blues. Penalty awarded. And Fiji bet South Africa. I said 57-27. You might be closest, though. I don't know if they surely they'd do closest, right? At a guess. Now, quick tap taken by Finley Christie. Uh-oh. Referee's actually ruled him back here. Said it was already called as the scrum. A second, though, says Splashy TV. And my third was 59-27. So third time's a charm. Could happen if the Blues drop the ball here. Okay, Anton Segner was just saying there, I didn't call for the scrum, I'm the captain. And Angus Gardner said, well, Finley Christie called for the scrum, so talk to him. We have got there, if the Tars win, does that mean they make top 6? Says Kiwi Rob. And also, hey guys, Omar, the next play admin, curious as how you found it. If you did not play, let us know why. Says Omar. But now 2 minutes past the full-time siren. Now that one's going to be collapsing. Now Hoskins Tutu going away to the right-hand side. Finley Christie moving the ball on. And now again, Christie away to the right. Anton Segner. About 10 metres out from the line. Tutu moves it across to Tuanga Fasi. That's a big clean out there in the breakdown. Tutu popping it up again to Lachlan McWan. Oh, that looked like a loose ball. And it looks like there might be an injury here for the Blues as well. There's the last thing that they would have been after. That looked pretty close to forward. They've ruled it as back, have they? I think they want to check it, but if it is not forward, it will be the try of Taeli. Now going upstairs. They just want to check that last pass. The on-fielders try, though. They just want to check that last one. If not, they want to go back for the scrum collapsing. You sound like an auctioneer. I have been told that a few times. Hey, is enjoyable, Omar. I'm from New Zealand, but originally Egyptian. Says Omar there. Right, that's another netball-style pass. The way that Taylor has to run onto it does make it look a little bit. Yeah, that to me, the ball looks like it's travelled forward. It'd be an unlucky one to have ruled out. But they may also just go, it's close enough. Forward, says Nada Boy. Right, Angus Gardner is just reiterating. He's saying, remember, it's an on-field try. No clear evidence that it's forward, so it is going to be the try for the Blues. And Taeli does get the credit for it. So this game moves even closer to the 100 points. What, says Nada Boy? Yeah, it did look pretty forward. The crowd are not happy about it. But it does move the Blues up to 32 with an easy kick to come. That one has gone over, which now means that after the 80 minutes of rugby, we had 93 points between these two sides. So, yeah, pretty insane in the end. And it does look like High is the winner. We don't know who High is, but who is, do let us know in the chat. We have you there. Cheers, everyone. Says Anthony and go the Chiefs. Says Murray there as well. So, yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. The playoff games are confirmed. The first game, 7:05 p.m. on Friday night next week. That is going to be Hurricanes versus Brumbies. From there, we have got the game taking place at 4:35 p.m. on the Saturday. That is going to be the Crusaders versus Blues. And then after that, it is also going to be the Chiefs versus Reds in terms of the standings. Then I want your email to win a prize. Well, you haven't won, Jason, because you weren't in the top 3. Or also, it was just top 1 that does get it. But that's just so that they can confirm addresses and whatnot with the one who's winning. But you don't necessarily have to put in your email if you didn't win. It's just more so that they can contact you, or else how else are they going to? They don't randomly know your phone number. We have got their defence coaches. Must be tearing their hat off. Yeah, 93 points going into a playoff game is not ideal in terms of the total points. It is the second highest score that we have seen from the Chiefs up against the Blues. The last time that they got high was 61 points in 2009. So, a bit of history made 17 years later between these two teams. And if that 4 pass was counted, I think I would have won. Says Big Rig there. And NRL time now, says Clifford. And also GG says, Sabo, I'm suspicious. I think you're suspicious of 90% of people, though, Jason. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. And once again, you don't have to put in your email because you didn't win. Well, you have got there, GG says Sapo. And the Blues have the hardest run home. Do they? I would say, in a way, the Brumbies or the Reds have the harder run. Because best case scenario, if all 3 winners who are favourites win their games, you're going to end up in that scenario how the Blues go through with the lucky loser. So unless one of the 2 favourites lose, the Blues are through no matter what, which seems like a pretty handy situation to be in. And how was Satiti's captaincy debut? Pretty solid, to be fair. He had a good first about 55 minutes before they decided to take him off the field. And we have the Jason just collecting emails to give out the prize, mate. Says Omar. But yeah. It will be intriguing because I think it was it $60 that now High will be able to choose from. I know Scams here, your name is just living room. That's true. They're like next room. So I'll probably talk to them now. I'll send my email address on the WWW RFC. that WhatsApp group, if that's okay. Yep, that's all good. I'll forward it on to them and then they can sort it out. Once I see an actual regular win, we're more convinced. Well, then Flesham will be your man to talk to, because more than likely they'll shop it out of Rugby Shop UK for Flesham, and that will probably get to him, I'd like to think, either next week or the week after. Vic Mars, he's out of Auckland, so if he's choosing Blues merch, he should get that almost before their playoff game next week. So then you'll be able to rest easy, knowing that it's all right. We have got there the thumbs up from Flesham there too. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. We are going to be back in an hour and 50 minutes time. But if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.